Good night. Tonight is the 12th of March 2025. I apologize, I think I'm a minute late. Well, it's a few seconds late. I hope I'm audible. Let me just quickly sort out the Facebook feed on the laptop so that I can see if there's any questions that come through, and also to check if there are comments. I saw there were no comments on the post from earlier today. Let me just sort that out quickly. And I've solved the sweating problem. I've opened the door at the back, and yeah, mosquito thingy at the back also to prevent them. Okay, I can see the video is live. We'll check for comments on the video. I won't go to the actual post. So tonight we're talking about service delivery in Plaatje Municipality. Before I go there, there's some information that I got afterwards on these new smart meters. I can't talk much about it because I'm still getting the details as to what's exactly happening. Hopefully they are resolving the challenges that were raised privately by other people. But on the service delivery, if you go around Kimberley, you'll see immediately that we are challenged as a city, that potholes, potholes, grass growing on the side of the road, trees growing on the side of the road, people being pickpocketed in the city center, unemployment in the city is also a factor that was created by service delivery, I believe. If you look at the price of services in the municipality, that would either attract investment, stability of the city also would either attract investment or repel investment. There were companies that were based in Kimberley, huge, big companies that were based in Kimberley. They've since left. Our economy right now is being kept together by mining still, the university, businesses, and government mostly, because we are the administrative city of the province. So the government departments that are here are keeping the jobs alive. But if a company, for example, that produces bread or that produces cars were to consider coming to Kimberley, the first thing, Plaatje Municipality, the first thing that they would look at is it feasible? Does it make financial sense to be in Kimberley? And immediately when you look at the tariffs that the municipality is charging, there's a tariff war now between America and all the other countries that it's trying to bully. So something similar. If the municipality over the number of years, I believe still since 2012 financial year, has been pushing up the price of services to the point where it's unaffordable and it doesn't make sense to come and invest here. If the business comes here, it has a national footprint. There's no business that would start off from Kimberley. I don't know if I'm making sense, because it would need to have a lot of capital to pay for the high tariffs that we are all currently paying. So why is Kimberley so expensive? Why is it so expensive to buy electricity? Why is it so expensive to do certain things? I ran into a gentleman earlier today who said he's a runner, and he said to use the stadium at the Beers to practice at the Beers, he has to pay 54 rands per day. But yeah, he's found a way to circumvent that or to get it done. Why is it so expensive to be in Kimberley, services-wise, municipal services? What are the municipal services? They sell us water, they sell us electricity, they collect refuse, matlakala, from our households and businesses. They collect sewage from our homes and take it to the sewage farm. They collect the rates and taxes. The rates and taxes, I'll explain why there's rates and taxes. So these are the services that we pay tariffs for: water, electricity, refuse removal, sewage removal, rates and taxes. Why is water so expensive? Firstly, the municipality buys the water from Department of Water and Sanitation, and then cleans it, collects it from the river, cleans it, and then brings it to Kimberley. And they have to maintain the water line. They have to pump the water with electricity to the city and make sure that the network is working properly, so they charge for that. Electricity, they buy the electricity from Eskom, and they have to maintain the lines. They have to make sure if the lines go out according to their license agreement with NERSA, render certain services to make sure that the electricity is available all the time. Refuse removal, there's a truck that has to be, people who have to be paid to man the truck that has to have diesel and all of that. Sewerage, the lines have been laid, they've upgraded and put on other lines, and they have to make sure that the sewerage does not spill into our streets. They have to make sure that the sewerage gets to where it's supposed to be, which is Homevale Wastewater Treatment Plant in the case of Kimberley, and in the case of Richie, I don't know where it goes. There's another plant, I believe, in I forget, Greenpoint, I think. They have another plant there. So they're supposed to do this, take all of this sewage and take it to these places. However, there's a problem that has been going on for over probably 10 plus years, both for sewage and water and electricity. We see the problems on a daily basis in our streets and in our homes as well, where the water gets cut. So the municipality got money to fix the water problem, not the sewage problem. Supposedly to fix to fix the water problem, and electricity, the price of electricity is going, they want the price of electricity to go up. However, I believe all of these services that the municipality is rendering to us or for us is majorly inflated, because in 2011-2012 financial year, the municipality went and argued that it needed a higher than normal price increase for electricity. And that higher than normal price increase for electricity was based on the fact that the municipality was saying that 50% of the households in Plaatje municipality are indigent households. Then they would ring-fence the extra money that they would have made in 2011-2012 to make sure that they run the electricity service properly. They did not do that. I suspect that the money that was extra money that was generated needed to pay maybe for salaries and whatnot. So I looked at the services that the municipality renders, and I asked myself this question. If there's a problem, for example, the street light doesn't work here, this side, the street light doesn't work. Sometimes there's no water. What's the first thing that we consider? We consider calling the mayor, calling the councillor to help with the problem. We're supposed to call the call center, and let's say you call the call center. Once you reach out to the municipality, they are supposed to fix the problem that you've identified, or you've said you have, since they are your service provider. They are our service provider. Here's the challenge that I picked up by looking at the structure of the municipality. So there are 5 departments in the municipality, basically. The corporate services, which deals with administration, communications, employee relations, risk management, human resources, which is employee relations, human resources, security, councillor support, and committee services, which is the people that take the minutes and make sure that the council meetings happen properly. Financial services, which deals with asset management, budget and treasury, expenditure management, information and communication technology, ICT, revenue management, supply chain management. And then you have strategic and economic development and planning, which deals with the fresh fruit market, fresh produce market, which is Revito, where people are supposed to bring their produce from farms and go sell it there for everyone to buy, for businesses primarily to buy. Local economic, it deals with local economic development. So local economic development means the development of small businesses, the development of business in the city, the attraction of business to the city. This is one of the units in the municipality that I believe, is costing the rest of the municipality, because if it was functional as it's supposed to be, then the municipality would not be as heavily dependent on collecting for water and collecting for electricity. The prices of these things would be lower if there would be more employment in the city also, if there was more businesses attracted to the city. So this is one of the most challenged units in the municipality, and I believe because it's not functioning properly, the municipality thoughts. Urban planning, they also deal with urban planning, so buildings, your business, building plans and all of that. Services and maintenance of municipal properties. Urban renewal program, which was at Khaleshua, Gup, whatnot, and properties. So this unit, if it was functioning properly, if you listen to what they deal with, most of the things that I've mentioned, if done properly, if run properly, then the municipality would be generating sufficient income. But it's not. I am at Strategic Community and Social Development Services. This is the unit that deals with your refuse removal, your that the social centers running properly, the halls, the clinics, the libraries. This is the unit that deals with that at the municipality. Infrastructure and Services deals with water. I can mention the community services, what they do. Community services, I think I listed it this side. But bottom line, they deal with those things. And the security of the municipality. Then there's the municipal manager's office, which basically is supposed to run the whole municipality. Now, here's the challenge with all of this, what I've picked up from all of this. It seems as if there's no one in charge. The municipal manager is in charge of the municipality. If you go to corporate services, there's an acting person. If you go to all the other units, there are acting people in these positions. So you would never find them in the office, for example. You would never know who to go to render a service. If there's a problem, everybody brings the problem up to the mayor's level. Everybody brings the problem up to the municipal manager's level. Instead of saying, for example, the library in town has a problem with the air cons that haven't been working for some years now. If you go there during the day, it's very hot. It's unbearable to be in the library in town. Who is supposed to deal with that? The manager who deals with community services. But the problem doesn't get solved there. You have to go talk to the municipal manager, blah, blah, blah. There's no one who's taken full responsibility of the services. Hence, the city deteriorates the way it is. So we see the people on the ground, like your EPWP worker, we see them laying on the ground and doing minimal work. If you stand and observe it for long enough, you'll realize there's not enough tools. Where there are enough tools, there's no manager, there's no strategy. They are being told, you need to go clean here, you need to do this. And eventually, the work gets done, but it gets done haphazardly. There's no one in charge. That's what the problem is with Salt Lake Municipality. There basically is no one in charge. We see the guys on the ground. We don't see the people in the offices who are decision makers and takers, who are supposed to make sure that the city is running properly, that the potholes are closed and whatnot. What we know of as people who are supposed to receive services is to talk to the municipal, to the councillors and the mayor and the speaker and whatnot. That's not where the problem gets solved, unfortunately. So, what has Salt Lake done with the service of electricity? Like I said, since I'll start with electricity and I'll talk about rates and taxes, why the properties are so expensive in Salt Lake. So since 2011-2012 financial year, the municipality, like I said, went to NERSA and said they are unable to generate enough revenue through electricity. They need a higher than normal price increase or tariff increase, which they're going to probably not argue that they need a higher than normal, but they're going to argue that they need a tariff increase at the end of this financial year, which is June. So from next month, I believe they'll start doing the rounds, asking people about the price increase for electricity, all price increases, because they're not generating enough income as the municipality. Electricity, they did that in 2011, 2012. Over the years, they've been increasing the price of electricity without proper consideration, because what we do as the end user is just pay and use and complain. But we never deal with the problem when it's supposed to be dealt with, when there's supposed to be meetings, when you're supposed to be writing a letter and saying you cannot increase the price, when you're supposed to be talking to the councillors. We don't do that. So over the years, they've been managing the sale of electricity badly, because at this point, the sale of electricity, they lose about 30% of the electricity that they buy from Eskom. About 100 and something million rands worth of electricity disappears annually at Plaatje Municipality. So basically, we buy 100 as Plaatje, residents, businesses, government, everyone that buys the services of the municipality. We give Plaatje 100 rands to buy electricity. Plaatje Municipality then buys 100 rands worth of electricity from Eskom. When Plaatje has to sell that electricity, it only sells 70 rands worth of electricity. 30 rands of that electricity disappears. Water is much worse. Water, they buy 100 rands worth of, we give them 100 rands, we pay for 100 rands worth of water. They take that 100 rand, they buy from water, Department of Water and Sanitation, they buy 100 rands worth of water and can only sell 39%, 40% of the water to us. So 60% of the water disappears. I think it's about 74 million rands worth of water per annum. Well, it's been fluctuating, but it's going up per annum. All of this translates to us paying more for the services. The maladministration or the lack of proper leadership at the municipality, which would result in us paying for services according to what we're supposed to. Kimberley, if you take that 30% for electricity and that 60% for water, Kimberley is supposed to be very affordable and attractive to investors from outside of the city. It's not the case, because we as the residents and businesses and government are okay with the 30% and 60% that disappears. We are okay with sewage farm not working. Sewage farm is the Homevale wastewater treatment plant. So if the Homevale wastewater treatment plant, sewage farm, is not working and all our sewage goes there, then it means the municipality has to find another way to lower the amount of sewage that comes to the sewage farm, because Hocha pump station, which is in Putanang or near Putanang, is non-functional, and they've opened a manhole there that has been letting sewage, raw sewage, out of that manhole for over 10 years, I believe, as well. I'll check that. But that sewage caused the R31 sewage lake that was there, which was fixed with a lot of money as well. It's still open. The manhole, till this day, since that fixing, it's still open. So the sewage is blocked by the road that was fixed and goes into people's properties on that side. The Tlhageng retention dam. No, let me stick to the sewage, because they're not held accountable by us, not political parties, not government itself, but by us, because the administration of the municipality is not held accountable. They are allowed or okay to let the sewage go into the veld, and we breathe that raw sewage. It's not supposed to be going to the veld. It's supposed to be treated, and the water is supposed to go back into nature, and then eventually we get it back. But the municipality lets it out at Hocha pump station. The Homevale wastewater treatment plant is dysfunctional. The parts have been stolen. The sewage is let out into Kamfer's Dam, which the flamingos have gone. All of these things, all of this neglect and lack of accountability result in us paying more. We don't see it because no one speaks about it. You have to read it in the news article. You have to hear about it when it's a problem. When there's a sewage lake and the trucks can't pass, you hear about it. Currently, there's one that's developing on the N12 to Johannesburg. 2 years ago, I think I walked to Riverton and I saw that, and one of the meetings I asked the administrators, but did you see that? And the person said, yes, we sent the pump to Johannesburg to be fixed so that we can have the water pumped to Comforts Dam or lower the levels of the water at Comforts Dam. That problem is causing the trains to have a problem passing there. That problem that they have created, the municipality, through neglect, is costing us, because at the end of the day, they will argue that they need to increase the prices to be able to fix these things. The new meters that were installed is supposed to solve the problem of the 30% of electricity that goes missing and the non-payment for services as well. But the 30% of electricity that goes missing, year before last and last year, I went and visited the section of the municipality and I asked, where can we help? We reach out to the community and we talk to the community. Where can we help? Ask people to pay more. No, not pay more. Ask people to pay for services. Okay, how do we ask people to pay for services if the services are substandard? If you come on board and you say, if you do this, we will make sure that we render the services efficiently, then we can ask people to pay for their services. That was our argument. The other thing that they raised privately was that there were about 6,000 households that did not buy electricity for years. So, for example, if this meter has a problem now, it's not a new meter, if this meter has a problem, back then the municipality would come, try and solve the problem, and if the problem is the meter itself, they would bypass the meter and tell you, we've bypassed your meter, we're waiting. That's what the problem was. There was a hardcover. There was a gentleman at the municipality, I think it was 2018, at the municipality with a hardcover with all the households that they had bypassed because they could not leave the house without electricity until the new meters are bought or new parts were bought for the meters. So the municipality bypassed those meters. Some of them, some were bypassed illegally by people who were trying to get free electricity. So over the years, that accumulated to 6,000 plus households. When they install these new meters, these new smart meters as the municipality, instead of attending to that problem specifically first, they were under pressure. If you remember last week when I spoke about this, that they needed to pay X amount of money to Eskom so that they can have the National Treasury writing off some of their Eskom debt, a big chunk of their Eskom debt. They rushed because they had not planned for the new meters properly. They rushed, and instead of targeting the 6,000 households, they went to everyone to try and meet the target of, I think, December 13th or somewhere there, November something, and then they asked for an extension, and then last month they asked for another extension to be able to pay Eskom. Because there seems to be no plan and no one in charge. Bottom line, there seems to be no one in charge. Because if you look at what I was reading, and if you go onto the municipality's website and you look at the structure of the municipality, there's Dermakar. You don't know. There's a unit that's here, but if you look at the responsibilities, they belong to another unit, and eventually you don't know who's supposed to be doing what. Who is the electrical manager of the city? You don't know. Well, maybe they can clarify that. Who is the current, not acting, the appointed, not someone who is seeing if they can help or whatnot, acting in that position. Who is the current financial CFO? Is he appointed permanently or is he acting? Who is the engineer of the city for water? So the structural problem of the municipality's administration is causing the city to deteriorate because you don't know who's in charge. You don't know who's doing what. And because of that, they can hide behind the politicians. I'm not saying the politicians, because the responsibility of holding the administration accountable falls on the councillors, on council. We as the cities, ratepayers and whatnot, citizens, we elect the people that will hold the administration accountable. The MM is the CEO of this company called Plaatje Municipality. The councillors are the board of directors or the board of this company. and they can hold the city manager, which is the municipal manager or CEO, accountable, and he is supposed to hold the director or the city engineer for water accountable when the water keeps cutting for over 3 months or 3 years. It's been a year or two now that we have on off, and sometimes there's no communication. He can hold the director for infrastructure accountable for the electricity constantly cutting for over 2 days, where the teams on the ground are the ones who they do the work, and they basically have to do extra work. There's no system that is in place that they can monitor and manage what is happening in the city. And I thought that was a problem. I raised it somewhere, and I actually found it in the Auditor General's report that they pointed this out to the municipality. The Auditor General has been pointing this out to the municipality, but over the years they've done basically nothing to resolve these key factors that were pointed out by the Auditor General. Let me quickly go to I need to escape there. Quickly go to the Auditor General's findings. So these are the risks that the Auditor General, I said I will talk about the rates and taxes. I'll explain why they're so expensive, why properties are so expensive in the city. And this is part of the services of the municipality. So, declining economic risks. Concerns on the major risks areas were raised during engagement with management. An updated risk register and a comprehensive report. This is the final draft of the 2023-2024 annual report of the municipality. Concerns on the major risk areas were raised during engagement with management. An updated risk register and a comprehensive report on the most significant strategic risks have been prepared by management. The current financial position challenges the municipality's ability to mitigate the risk. This directly impacts service delivery and sustainability. The following significant risks exist within the municipality. Please listen to these. Declining economic conditions impacting on customer affordability. Declining economic conditions, companies leaving, companies retrenching, businesses basically failing in the city. The declining economic conditions in the city affect if we can afford municipal services. And the risk is increased debtors book. Their debtors book would increase, and the indigent register would also increase. Declining financial stability of the municipality. This has happened. Impact, reduced revenue collection and declining cash flow position. That means the municipality's position would be lower. Lagged M-score, this is the reporting template, I think, the reporting system that they use, but let me not go into that. The next one is the other risk is sustainability of revenue generation, which I spoke of when I spoke of this unit, the strategic economic development and planning unit. That unit is supposed to be helping the municipality to generate income and attract business to the city. Sustainability of revenue due to reducing demand for electricity and increased tariff. Please listen to this. The risk is sustainability of the revenue due to reducing demand for electricity and increased tariffs. The increased tariffs in the city is a risk for the city. They can't keep increasing the price of electricity, because the more they increase the price of electricity, the lesser money they would get. I don't know if I'm making sense. Businesses are jumping ship. They're basically going to solar. They're going to alternative ways of getting electricity. And revenue loss due to significant water and electricity losses. This is what I spoke of, the 30% lost for electricity and the over 60% lost in water. These losses, sustainability, surety of water and electricity supply threatened. This was a risk. It's happening. The surety of getting water when you open the tap is very little. The surety that there would be electricity tomorrow morning, because the electricity is stripping and it's not being maintained and there's no one who knows who's doing what when. Poor service delivery, delayed service provision to new developments. The reliability of customer information and data. This is something that I spoke of last week, that what they report to the Auditor General, if they give the Auditor General a number of indigent households, they would say, for example, there are 30,000 households as indigents. But if you look at the total number of households in the city, it can't be that there are 30,000 households as indigents. So the Auditor General picked this up and said that the information that they are getting is not reliable. So the municipality is basically sometimes the numbers, and this has caught up with them. Inadequate failing water and sanitation infrastructure, collapse of services delivery, failure to meet current demands of water supply and sewer conveyance. The city center, because of the university, has grown. There's many residential areas, but the municipality is not keeping up. Because if you ask who is in charge of this, nobody can tell you. It will eventually be or land on the municipal manager's table, and personally, I don't think he's doing a good job. Because if you look at the responsibilities of the other directors, it seems as if they are left to do as they please, or they are stripped of responsibility, which would go back to the municipal manager making sure that all the units are run properly, that the unit for community services, which deals with refuse removal and whatnot, is running properly. If there's 7 trucks in the city, why are there 7 trucks? We should not be talking to the municipal manager. We should be talking to the director for community service. And he is supposed to talk to the municipal manager and make sure that they find a solution to these challenges. We keep pointing the finger again to the people that we see, the councillors and the mayor and the speaker. We never look at the people who are supposed to be doing the work. And I'm not talking about the EPWP people who are said to be laying on the street. Where are the people in blue overalls? The organogram of the municipality is over 1,000 something, is it 1.8 warm bodies, supposedly warm bodies. Where are those people? Where are the people of Parks and Recreation? Why are the Parks and Recreation areas? Since the people of EPWP stepped in, the other units that are supposed to be doing that work seem like they have disappeared. How is this possible? Deteriorating raw water quality and rising tariffs. Tariff hikes due to high operational costs. Like I said, there's about 1,800 workers at the municipality, and other costs. Because of losing 30% of the electricity, they have to increase the price of electricity. Because of losing 63% of the water, they have to increase the price of water, instead of solving the problem of the 30% of electricity that goes missing. This has been our argument ever since. Solve the problems and stop overcharging us. And the municipality will continue to do this if we are ignorant about it, or if we complain with the wrong content, or we complain to the wrong people. The councillors, in my opinion, seem not to be looking at this information the way that they're supposed to. They get the information chewed up by the administration, and they take the stance of the administration. The administration can say, we did not do this because of X, Y, Z. The councillors do not go back and check the reports and make sure that the Auditor General's report are being responded to effectively. And eventually, these people who are supposed to be taking responsibility get off scot-free. Old and inadequate electricity infrastructure, limited capacity of high, medium, low voltage. This is the infrastructure. That's why the power lines have been tripping and whatnot. Human resource management is one of the risks that's identified by the Auditor General. Inadequate capacity and lack of skilled operational and maintenance staff in electrical, water, and sanitation sections. I believe, I forgot his name, the city engineer for electricity went to Cape Town. He went to Cape Town Municipality, City of Cape Town. I speak under correction, but I think there is no director or city engineer for electricity. So when something happens, it's like, ons sal sien wie sal dit kan regmaak, whatever is going on, we'll find a way. There is no management, proper management at the municipality. If there was proper management, there would have been consequences for example, return of funds that has been happening. For example, the projects that are stalling and that are not being completed. Information technology risk is they've been hacked a couple of times, unfortunately. Inadequate and ineffective security measures to enable access control and physical security. The municipality has security personnel which is stationed at some places, the graveyards. They're supposed to have security personnel at public halls. They're supposed to have them at the libraries, at the clinics, but they don't have. They're supposed to have peace officers within the city center. They are there, but you see them daidaga when they have to be doing the work. It's not a regular thing, like I said, because it seems as if there's no one who actually takes full charge or who is in charge of the municipality. I ramble and I've spoken a lot about the services. Let me go back to why the price of property is so expensive in Kimberley. So the municipality has recently been, has recently been downgraded, I think, to a level 4 municipality. This is, I suspect, if you look at the finances of the municipality, if I'm correct, if my information that I have looked at before is correct, the CFO salary is higher than the municipal manager's salary, or packages are higher. So what happened during council meetings back in the day was council would agree and say, we need an increase as council, we need an increase as council, and they approve it because they're the ones who were supposed to approve it. So the finance unit would propose these things and they would approve it. What has happened is that has accumulated over the years, and they are used to these huge packages. We're not a metro as Plaatje municipality, but they're used to these bigger than normal packages for such a city. So to maintain these salaries, certain things would have to happen. You have to have a budget that is a certain amount, a 2 billion rand budget, for example, for the municipality, which means your debt, it's okay if you don't collect it. It shows as you could collect 1 or 2 or 4 billion at this point. You could collect 4 billion. So you take that percentage and you put it into the budget, and it adds up and makes it look nice, and the budget looks like a 2 billion budget. The downgrade is probably because the Treasury figured it out, or Treasury finally put a stop to it to say, you can't be playing with the numbers for the sake of the salaries, for example. So if they come in front, they do valuation of property, they walk here and they look at this property and they want the property's income for the year to be 500 or 600 million for the year, then they would have to say, this area we're going to charge this much, and make it seem as if it's worth that much. The property values have been artificially inflated so that the municipality can collect higher rates and taxes. So the property values are not what they are supposed to be in the city. Similar to the tariff for electricity, similar to the tariff for water, similar to the tariff for refuse removal and sewage. They're not what they're supposed to be, because the municipality, through the finance unit, has been playing with the numbers to make sure that the budget is as big as it is. Let's talk about that for a second, since we're talking about the services of the municipality. If the 60% of the water doesn't disappear, where does it go? If we are able to use 40%, and now all of a sudden there's a 60% that comes back, that means we have 60% more water than what we need, which means our budget for water is high by 60%. You get what I'm saying? If the 30% for electricity, that electricity doesn't disappear, they sell it at a cheaper rate, but they make the money back. They make the capital back, the 30%. Then the price of electricity does not make sense anymore. I don't know if I'm making sense. It's that simple. It's that simple. If the price of electricity goes down, the price of water and all the other services go down, the municipality is rated at as a lower municipality. The salaries of the councillors, or stipends, salaries of the councillors, the salary of the municipal manager, direct, and all the other directors has to be in line with how much realistically can be collected in Kimberley. So over the years, they've inflated the budget, and now the chickens are coming home to roost. what they will do, unfortunately, is simply increase the prices again. Because when we object to it, it's seen as a problem because you are affecting people's pockets. So, I've spoken long. I hope I've made sense. I hope the information that I'm sharing can be used positively, not for politics and not for point scoring and whatnot. The 53 million rands that was returned to National Treasury. What I heard, not that one specifically, not that money, let's not talk about that money. What I heard from one of the workers at the municipality is that they are unable to, they get the money from Treasury and they've budgeted for that year. Let's say, for example, they get a 5 million from Treasury to lay paving. Before they lay, for that year, 5 million to lay paving in different streets. They have to go out on tender. They have to adjudicate and whatever the tender processes and then appoint the service provider. By the time they appoint the service provider, it's already September. By the time the service provider starts procuring material for the work, it's already December. By the time the work is at 30 or 40%, it's already April. And by that time, the budget is spent maybe to 70% or 60%, and Treasury will take it back. So this is what is happening. It points back to management. Management. Simple as that. There's no proper administration of the resources at the municipality. The Auditor General points out that the municipality doesn't know which properties it owns. It points out that the municipality cannot point out exactly how they've built and who they've built, which houses are there's houses, for example, that have two accounts. One house, two accounts. So they inflate the income of the municipality. I believe they've also artificially inflated the debt to 4 billion. They need to do an audit of what has happened over the years. They need to do a cleansing of the books. They need to get a forensic auditor or forensic chartered accountant, whatever, to sit and look at the numbers and the debt that people owe, that households, businesses, and government owe, and correct it. The city can become a 2 billion rand city with work. If they do the work and they get the businesses in and they attract, we can be cheaper than Bloemfontein. We can bring Bethlehem as well. We can bring Sasko here. We can bring the businesses back. We can bring investment back into the city. But it has to be affordable. If they keep increasing the prices like this, it doesn't only affect us now, it affects us long term because jobs are lost. The child in the house has to go hustle. When he hustles, he robs someone of their phone, he goes to jail, or he stabs someone. All of these things have a knock-on effect. The people who are in charge don't see it that way. It's simply price increase so that I can get a salary increase. I hope I wasn't babbling for too long. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk again next week, Wednesday. I think we need to touch on the employment in the city next week, Wednesday. Thank you. Good night.